Good morning. Today, we will talk about anatomical directional terms. A directional language of an enemy exists in order to minimize confusion when discussing areas or specific points of the body. This directional language or terminology is used to reference in the anatomical position. When we say anatomical position, this refers to when a person stands erect, face pointing forward, arms at the sides, palms facing forward, and feet also pointing forward. So the picture you see is the perfect representation of anatomical position. So we will start with the anterior or ventral. Anterior describes the front or direction toward the front of the body. When we see posterior or dorsal, this describes the back or direction toward the back of the body. Let's just say, for example, that the sternum is anterior to the heart, meaning the sternum is in front of the heart, and the heart is posterior to the sternum, meaning the heart is in the back of the sternum. So mao na inyo nakitaan nga example about anterior and posterior. Anterior and posterior can also be used to describe higher looking of the body, while the body will always reference from the anatomical position. It can be viewed from the anterior view, meaning looking of the body from the front, or it can also viewed from posterior, meaning looking of the body from the back. Another anatomical terminology is superior or cranial. Superior describes a position above or higher than another part of the body. Inferior or caudal, this describes a position below or lower than another part of the body proper. Let's say, for example, the heart is superior from the small intestine, meaning the heart is above the small intestine, and the small intestine is inferior from the heart, meaning the small intestine is below from the heart. So mao na siya ang example sa inferior o superior. Next is lateral and medial. These two are another set of anatomical directional terms. Lateral describes the side or direction toward the side of the body. Medial describes the middle or direction toward the middle of the body. So as you can see sa presentation, ang body na siya line sa tunga. Gitawag na siya og midline. Midline is the imaginary line that divides the body from right and left halves. For example, let's just say that the heart is medial to the lungs, meaning the heart is in the center of the lungs, and the lungs lateral to the heart, meaning the lungs is in the side of the heart. So mao na ang inyong nakitaan nga example about lateral and medial. Next is proximal and distal. Proximal describes a position in a limb that is nearer to the point of attachment or the trunk of the body. Distal describes a position in a limb that is farther from the point of attachment or the trunk of the body. Let's just say that the thigh is proximal to the foot, meaning the foot is near to the thigh or in the trunk of the body. Or you can say that the foot is distal to the thigh, meaning the foot is away from the thigh or the trunk of the body. Another anatomical directional term is superficial and deep. When we see superficial, this describes a position closer to the surface of the body, and the deep describes a position farther from the surface of the body. For example, the skin is superficial to the bones, meaning the skin is closer to the surface of the body, which is the bone. And the brain is deep to the skull, meaning the brain is away from the skull. So those are the anatomical directional terms. Thank you.